So I do like those. So what I can do is Control I to inverse it, and that's so I can paint back in where I want the saturation to appear. So I'm going to use a soft brush and then use the. Welcome back to my channel. For this video, we're going to look at one of my finished pieces. Well, almost finished. We're going to do some touches on it. But before I, start, just need to remind you guys that you can get custom brushes like hair brushes, which I used for this one, uh, from cubebrush.co and gumroad.com. So make sure to check those out. I'll leave the description the links in the description section of this video. So make sure to check me out on Rumble and also YouTube, one of those. And well, let's get started. The first thing I want to do to improve on this is we're going to use one of the photo filters. So I'm going to go here where the adjustments are, and there's many tools that we can use here. The first filter or the first adjustment we're going to use is the hue saturation for this, and I'm going to see what I can do to improve some of the colors in this. So let's start with the hue saturation. Maybe I can change this a little bit, and you have to experiment to see what you like, what makes it look really nice. I'm gonna put some more red in there. Now what you can do is use the presets, but like you can use old style, you can increase saturation, or you can do increase saturation more. So I do like those. So what I can do is Control I to inverse it, and that's so I can paint back in where I want the saturation to appear. So I'm going to use a soft brush and then use the light color and just start painting it back in. And the red areas, I'm going to put them on the joints and I can lower the opacity if I don't want it to be too much going on. There we go. So that looks pretty good. The next adjustment we're going to use is the levels, and I'm going to turn it up, see how dark we can get it, or I can use the presets, increase contrast. I can do that. It looks alright, but I'm going to do Control I, and maybe I could paint the parts I want to have more contrast. And I'm using a light color, and I'm using low opacity and increasing the contrast as I paint repeatedly in certain parts. And I always want the main places to be have more contrast, the main character mostly. And I can still adjust these if I want to. Sometimes it may not make a huge difference, but little changes can really make things look a little bit better. The next one we're going to use is curves, the curves adjustment. And this is also used for contrast. Let's try that. And sometimes you have to walk away from a painting and come back to it to see if it looks exactly right. So I can do Control I, and that's how I can hide the adjustment and paint it back in with the light color, and make sure you have the mask. And you could paint back in some of the adjustments. I'm going to turn the opacity up just a little bit. And you can also add another adjustment, like if you want to do levels again, or you want to do curves again, you can do that. I'm going to do levels because I want to change certain things. I want to darken certain areas. Control I to hide it with the mask, and then I can paint it back. And I have it on low opacity with the brush. And yeah, just these little adjustments can make your painting come alive, or they can mess them up. You just got to use them wisely, and you don't want to overuse them either. So there you go. That's how you use the adjustments. It's looking pretty good so far. So I think I'm finished with this painting. But whenever you finish a painting, just make sure and check out all the tools that Photoshop has and see what you can do to improve your paintings and illustrations or concept art. So I'll check you guys out later. Check me out on here on YouTube and also Rumble. So, and you can check the descriptions for the links to the tools that I use. And yeah, so I'll see you guys later. Peace.